I'm back to tell you all about surfboard traction pads. You can see here, this is my first traction pad board. There's my fun board and my Tomo Vader shortboard. And I have 6 boards in my quiver, and now 3 of them are fitted with traction pads. Let me start off by telling you to remove the wax. You just put it out in the sunlight for 5 minutes. Then it's going to be really soft and easy to remove. You just get your wax comb, and the wax comb has sharp edges. So actually, since you're going to be using this a lot, I recommend using gloves. Well, you just need one glove for whichever hand you're using to remove the wax. So you scrape as much wax off as you can. After that, you can buy some product, wax remover product, but I always try to do things as cheaply as possible. So I just use a good quality tissue that is strong, and or napkin, and then baking soda. Baking soda has so many uses, right? I even use baking soda for my homemade toothpaste. So you can use it for toothpaste, you can use it for removing wax. And then I will use a little lime juice or lemon juice to, get it nice and lubricated and moist. And you will, kind of get the feel of it, how much juice to use and how much baking soda powder to use. And then after a while, after you have all of the wax off, you will see just like a film, like a waxy film. And at that point, you will start to use less of the lemon juice or lime juice. Stop using that. Just go to the pure baking soda to really remove all of that film. You don't want any, citrus juice lingering on the board, right? You want it to be completely clean. And then you can kind of look at the reflection in the light and see what is left on the board, right? And then you will just use some alcohol. Here, it's almost impossible to buy pure alcohol, so I actually use vodka. You could probably also use gin or vodka, because that is the purest alcohol available here. Because all of these little alcohol, they don't sell pure alcohol for some reason here. They usually mix like moisturizer and some other things, but here's one that has like guava, and it doesn't have the moisturizer or other things in it. So I think this one's safe, and I don't have vodka or gin at this time. So I'm going to try to use this time to do the final cleaning, and then I'll look and make sure there's no filmy residue. Okay, that's important. And then I'm going to add these pieces. Here is kind of like a face. If you come around here, you can see the design. This part of the board is like a face, and I'm going to add, because I've been surfing this board for a while, and sometimes it's like I want to put my hand in this area, so I'm going to add some teardrops to give me more confidence and more grip area for my pop-ups. But this is my second board to put traction pads on, and I really spend a lot of time on this design. It's got actually the I Ching hexagram for water, and also the colors. It follows the Taoist I Ching meaning of water. It's blue and black, and also this is it's 4 female lines and 2 male lines. This is the hexagram. Hexagram? Yeah, 6-line symbol. I believe that's the correct word, hexagram. Anyways, and then here is a face. If you look at it upside down, kind of like the Vader face. There's all kinds of meanings. This could be like a bottle. So it's cool. You can buy you know, the already pre-made set, like I did for this board, which has the 3M adhesive. So I should tell you that this is my very first traction pad set, and not even one single time did the pads come loose from the board because it's 3M adhesive, right? And I even cut into some really small skinny pieces, and they never once came loose. And I've had this for like 2 or 3 seasons. Whereas these traction pads without the 3M adhesive did come loose many times. And for a long time I was using this contact adhesive, which you will put on the board and the pad and let it dry for about 5 minutes, and then you stick it. But you need to be careful, don't surf it the next day. If you use this and surf it the next day, it will come loose again. You need to let it fully cure for about 3 or 4 days. So that kind of sucks if you like regularly use that board, which when the waves are head high and above, I regularly use this board. And so I've recently started to use the 2-part epoxy, which is simpler because you don't need to wait for it to get tacky before you put it down. And it's a white color, so it's easier to clean up and it looks nicer. You can see here there's still a pink residue. Even though you can use the eraser to remove the excess, it still shows a little pink in some edgy, you know, on some of the edges. So here you can see where I use both, you know, so the contact adhesive didn't work the first time, so I went back with the epoxy. I'm also going to use this later on my surfing booties, which I've had for many, many seasons. And hopefully that will work, because I used this and it didn't work. Maybe because I didn't wait enough days, but this is also effective. But so yeah, if the nice thing about these pads is I paid about $40 for enough pads to do 3 boards. Let's take a look in here. Here's my fun board. So I've already done 2 boards with $40 worth of traction pads, and it's my own design. That's my rainbow. That one I just kind of put them on there, and this one was, you know, well thought out with the design. So I actually have a lot left for a 3rd board, and that's all for $40 If you pay, this was a cheaper set, but I recently looked online. It's like $80 for a full set of traction pads. But I want to tell you, don't be afraid to cut them up and put them where you want them, because you will see most people, they only put the traction pads in the chest area and maybe in the rear footing area. But actually, when you pop up, you need grip for your hands. So don't be afraid to cut up a few of the pads and put them in the hand area. Because for me, it's like really important to have something to grip onto when I pop up. I don't get people that don't put traction pads in the hand area. Anyways, so maybe for like kite surfing, that's okay, but or wing surfing, whatever. But I also want to tell you, there are many reasons to put traction pads on your board. One, it protects the board. Let's look at my fun board again. This is my very first surfboard, which I got like about 10, let me turn the light on. I got this board like 10 years ago. So as you can imagine, it is a PU or fiberglass board. It has many pressure dings, many, especially in this area, which is a common area for a board to break. You know, an older aging board will commonly break in this area because the pressure dings will become so deep. And actually the fin boxes are becoming exposed and weak in this area. So number one reason to use traction pads is to protect your board and prolong the life. So I have done that because I love this board so much. And also, this board always felt a little bit stiff. And now it feels less stiff, right? And it's also nice when you wear booties. The booties actually seem to give more grip, but I like it both ways, barefoot and with booties, either way. Also, when you use traction pads, you need to wear the leggings, right? And even without traction pads, I would get rashes on my inner thighs. So I like to wear my leggings anyways. Also, it protects against jellyfish. So you don't have to worry about the only place where jellyfish can get me is on my hand. And they do. They get me on my hand sometimes, but they don't get me on the legs. So yeah, it's good to wear leggings, full rash guard. I wear full cover. It covers everything. So because before I got like a lot of sun spotting because the sunblock is not enough. So I wear like full protection, even in a tropical country where I live. But anyways, so the second reason to use traction pads is to save time and to save energy. And a lot of boards are like messy. They're really messy. And the wax will spread out all over the board. It'll get onto the rails. And for maximum efficiency, you want less drag. So if you got wax smeared all over your rails, it's going to slow your board down because it's creating more drag, right? Even sometimes the wax somehow gets on the bottom of the board. So in addition to like combing the wax out, reapplying base coat, reapplying top coat, then cleaning off all the mess on the rails and the bottom, then taking a towel and cleaning it again to get it like perfectly clean and smooth is going to take like 30 minutes. And when you're getting up early in the morning, which is the best time to surf, you don't have 30 minutes to prep your board, right? You got to hurry up and get to the surf spot. So as number two reason, right? You're going to save time, save energy. So you don't have to worry about that. And if you do wax a board, I have started to wax my board and prepare everything the day before. So the next day I can just get my board and go. And with the traction pads, so much easier to just get it and go. What's another reason? I think there is a third reason to use traction pads actually. Yeah, the third reason. This is a very expensive surfboard. It's probably the most expensive surfboard I will ever have. I will probably never pay this much money again for another surfboard. It's just ridiculous. You can get a local shaper to make you any board that you want, you know, for much less money. And it's supporting your local people, right? So that's better than buying something made in a third world country and you're paying an arm and a leg for it, right? And the people who made it, they're like not making what they deserve. So it's just like, it's just not good, right? So support your local shapers and yeah, I mean, that's the right thing to do, but at that time, it was just at that time, my thinking was that this was the right thing to do. And anyways, I love this board. Like I said, I have 6 boards in my quiver, and I love this board. But for some reason, this board, this Tomo Vader, became discolored and like ugly very quickly. I think a lot of surfers, they like the aesthetics of a white surfboard. They like it for some reason. But anyways, this board, as you can see, it's like somebody smoked cigarettes for many years in a room with this board. So it's like this dingy yellow, like it looks like a vintage like town and country surfboard, right? It's like 10 years old. And it's not that old. It's this, you know. So it makes the board look amazing. right? This is an amazing board. And when I surf this board, I want it to look amazing and I want to feel amazing. You know, even like what you wear, like your gear. For the longest time, I wore like really old, like crappy looking gear, like my board shorts and my rash guard. It's just like old, and it's just not you know, like when you go to a business meeting, you don't wear old, ugly looking clothes, right? You wear nice clothes, right? And you feel nice and you feel confident. So it's the same with surfing. You want your board, your gear, what you wear, you want it to look nice so you can feel nice and feel confident, because confidence is everything. Well, it's not so much more than confidence, but it's important. You want to feel confident. You want to look nice. You want your board to look nice, right? So it accomplishes that also, right? So it protects your boards, prolongs the life of your board, saves you time, makes them look nicer. Also, it saves money in the long run. I mean, I just bought like 6 bars of super sticky bumps wax, which I love. But that was like, you know, more than $20 US, right? And that's going to last for a while. But you just do the math. And over time, the traction pads are going to save you money because you're going to buy less wax. My longboard, of course, I'm I'm not gonna put traction pads on my longboard. All right, this is I'm not gonna do that. My wooden surfboard, I would probably not put traction pads on. And my other short board, I will probably keep rocking the wax because it's nice to feel the wax, right? It's nice. It's a different feeling, right? It's more of a, actually the wax does give you more of a confident feeling. When you first surf on traction pads, it's going to feel a little bit loose. It's going to be looser. You know, the wax, of course, any part of the wax that you touch, it's just going to stick and it's going to stay in place, right? But with the traction pads, it's not quite as sticky, right? So it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to it, but not like, I would say like after 1 or 2 surf sessions, you will already get the feel of it. It's just a little, the way you sit on the board, the way you grab the board, the way you duck dive, it's gonna be a little bit different, but just a little bit. It's just a little bit of adjusting, but it's easy to get used to it. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, about doing maneuvers. I don't really notice any difference like wax versus traction pads in like doing like extreme radical bottom turns or extreme radical off the tops. I can do all of those things just like I can with wax with traction pads. I can do it either way. It's with booties, without booties, with wax, with traction pads. I can do all the same things. It's just a little bit of a different feel. So don't worry about that. There's one more thing I was going to mention. Yeah, you want to think about the placement of your pads. You will see in most pictures, again, I just want to reiterate, most people just put the traction pads only in the chest area, but you don't be afraid to cut up some of the pads and put them where you really need them, all right? Or pop up. You need grip, right? Otherwise, you're going to be slipping off. And if you do slip off, like what I'm talking about, you can come back later. I've been surfing this board for a long time, and it's kind of, every time I've noticed, maybe I kind of like a little extra grip here for my pop-up. So I'm gonna add some teardrops under the eyes here for some extra grip there. I think it looks cool because I wanted to show the original, you know, part of the board. But yeah, so that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And you know, I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope you can return the favor and subscribe to me. You know how everybody knows how YouTube works, right? We need to get 1,000 subscribers. So it's not all about the money, as someone once saying, right? It's not about the money, right? We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. But all the same, I'm helping you. Please help me back. Please hit the subscribe. Thank you. Love y'all.